So, I mean, again, Luke was a former board member. And then developed a relationship with our organization because of shared values, their support as a B corporation of the triple bottom line and things like that, mirror our mission and vision for what the coast. Ideally, we'd love to see all of the businesses operating under similar principles as Luke's does, and maybe we will someday. Maybe this can be a model for that work. But in addition to helping pull together the kind of financing structure that pays for this, we're leading the charge on the decarbonization work, on connecting to the appropriate folks doing the greenhouse gas assessment for Luke's, at connecting them to state agencies like Efficiency Maine that has already kind of created a pilot opportunity for some of their phase change work on the coolers, and really helping, being the technical capacity to help advance clean energy solutions for the working waterfront. Leveraging both our kind of communications and in-house energy expertise to help kind of expedite and advance the projects that we identify, while at the same time understanding how we can leverage our networks across the country to make sure that the lessons that we learn throughout this project are broadly transferable. I think Ben has he shared with me their Earth Day blog that's kind of highlighting some of their things. Some of the things that are coming out of this. And I think one of the things that I think is really important, our job is to make sure that this work benefits more than just Luke's. And they're a key partner in all of that, but really understanding like how, as we're having these conversations with Luke's and helping provide the kind of technical support and capacity that a private sector business isn't going to have on the energy side of things, how can we be having conversations with other seafood processors to help bring them along on this journey? And say like, hey, this thing that's benefiting Luke's, maybe it can benefit you as well. Have you looked into this? Can we make any connections for you? Can we answer any questions about your clean energy journey?
That's actually exactly leading into my next question, because you mentioned something about how Atlantic Sea Farm was interested in becoming more energy efficient. So I'm wondering like how this project is growing and expanding to affect other businesses.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been designed from the outcome to do just that. And while we had planned on some of this work growing out on the other side of the greenhouse gas inventory and assessment, and identifying opportunities for mitigation and cost savings within Luke's, we thought that when people saw that, they'd think, oh, cool, let's tell us more, let's learn more. But what we're realizing is that there's a huge appetite in the sector for this type of work. And even as the second they start to hear about us starting this work, they're kind of raising their hands, and folks like Bree and her team at Atlantic Sea Farms are like, hey, can you help us talk through this? Like, what do you mean? Like, how can we benefit from clean energy investments, both on the business front, but how can we also be part of the solution to the climate change crisis?
Why would you say there's that interest? Why do you think people are jumping on board for this?
I think there's a growing, twofold, my assessment would be, I think there's a growing recognition of the kind of looming impact, or not even looming, but the present here and now impacts of climate change. But there's also the recognition that a lot of these businesses, while they are private sector businesses and need to make a profit, they are kind of beholden to this triple bottom line, and kind of understanding that their part of their mission as a business can be to provide economic benefits, social benefits, and environmental benefits. But again, part of this is also the pretty simple recognition that, like, not only is this work good for the environment, it's good for mitigating climate change, it's good for our bottom line. Like, it is not just an investment in the future of the world, it's an investment in the future of our business too.
And what would you say are some of the key ingredients that are contributing to the success of this project?
I think shared vision is critical. Understanding from the outset what we had hoped to achieve in this project and what Luke has hoped to achieve in this project, and that there's significant alignment, if not complete kind of overlap on those things is critical. And understanding as needs change and as opportunities emerge, having that trusting relationship as a foundation, I think, is also critical, and the two-way flow of communication that goes into building that type of trust. And I also think that there's a shared recognition of both organizations that the future can be more than the past, and working towards that as the common goal is a great unifier, and I think it gets everyone really excited about this work and keeps us all excited about this work. And like I said, I think both the team at Luke's and the team at the Island Institute see a different way of doing things, and this is just one step on that path to a different way of operating businesses and a different way of collaborating for climate resilience.
Yeah. One project that neither Luke or Ben mentioned, but that you mentioned, was that partnership to explore better cooling techniques. Can you describe that? Like, you mentioned it very briefly, but
so, and again, I would please ask that you check with Ben before publishing anything on this, because I'm not sure if they're constrained in any way by the piloting organization here.
Okay.
So I just want to make sure that we're respectful of anything on that front. But I don't think that. So, Efficiency Maine Trust here in the state of Maine is a partner on a variety of energy efficiency and clean energy solutions. It's kind of it's a quasi-state agency that provides this type of support. They have partnered with a group out of Boston, I think, doing this kind of phase change experiment, this phase change piloting work, where you basically line the walls of a refrigerated room, a freezer room, that Luke's has lots of, in order to keep product cold or to freeze product, with a special liquid that's able to be super cool. So what it allows you to do is, when energy is the cheapest, or when energy is the most abundant, you can drive a lot of cold temperature into a room like that. And then that super coolable liquid holds that cold temperature for a very long time.
Yeah.
It helps buffers out, mitigate. It basically smooths out the demand curve, and also reduces overall energy costs, because a refrigeration unit is not constantly trying to keep temperature. It can rely on the super coolable liquid to do some of that. It's kind of a battery. It's in essence kind of a cold battery.
Yeah. Okay, that's very cool. Thanks.
Yeah, and that wasn't even on our radar when we started this whole project. It just emerged in a conversation we had when we were connecting Luke's to Efficiency Maine, just making this introduction, like, hey, you guys are going to probably start benefiting from a lot of Efficiency Maine's projects down the road. Figure you should get to know each other, talk a little bit more about the partnership. And the executive director was like, hey, I think we have this really cool project that we may have one more slot available for. So,
oh, that was perfect.
The whole thing did, and it was a good fit. So,
yeah.
It's that type of kind of fortuitous circumstance, that kind of opportunity, that is really cool, because if the pilot is successful, that's something that's infinitely transferable across not just Maine seafood processing and supply chains, but anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere in the globe.
So that's actually all my questions for now. But is there anything you want to add that I haven't asked? Because I know before I was really just asking you for an overview, and I just wanted to, what comments you would like to add.
No, I think, I'll just return to the idea that this kind of model of a private sector and nonprofit partnership working together to help identify of being in the future, a different way of represents a pretty cool kind of problem-solving opportunity that I think is, I'm personally hoping that beyond just the benefit to Luke's and the lobster supply chain and fishing supply chain, this type of partnership for solving really complex problems around climate change and climate change adaptation, climate change mitigation, I think it's an opportunity to do more of that in a variety of other fields. And I think this is hopefully just the tip of the iceberg of really cool projects bringing together diverse groups and private sector businesses to solve some of these challenges.
Mm-hmm. The tip of the iceberg that's hopefully not going to melt.
Yeah. The iceberg, while we still have icebergs.
Yeah. Oh, well, thank you so much. I really love this story. I'm so glad we managed to hear about you guys.
Yeah, no, I'm so glad that it piqued everyone's interest and that Kimberly made the connection initially. So.
Yeah. So I'm going to now I have all the interviews done, and, I still have my notes and quotes from you from our other call. So I'm going to put together this story, and I hope to send everybody a copy by, the middle of next week, hopefully, if all goes according to plan. And yeah, you guys can just make sure everything's accurate and we're conveying everything properly. Yeah, so I'll be in touch again next week, and hopefully I won't have any other little questions to pester you with. But
it's not a bother at all if you do, Michelle. So
yeah.
if something comes up, feel free to reach out to me.
Great.
I'm the least busy out of Luke, Ben, and I.
I know all the people that I've been interviewing for these projects are insanely busy. I can't even believe it. I interviewed one guy who has a full-time job, and then he does another 20 hours a week for this community-based organization, but he says he probably does 40 hours a week for them. I'm like, oh my god, thank you for giving me a whole hour. It's nuts. But
yeah.
But yeah, it's good to see people doing such good work. So
Yeah, and I'm glad there are storytellers out there telling the story.
yeah. Together we'll get the story out there.
That's right. Well, like I said, Michelle, if anything does come up, don't hesitate to reach out. It's never a bother. So
awesome. Thank you. All right. Well, enjoy the rest of your day's almost over there, and have a good night.
Have a good rest of your day.
Oh yeah, it's beautiful. I'm gonna go for a walk. All right.
Enjoy it while you can.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.